As Manchester City definitely were the better team in this one, as you can see by the stats, a 3-0 win for the home team. Let's welcome in our Frank Leboeuf now. Frank, I'm going to start with you on this one. Where do you want to start with this?
I want to start about, because everybody's going to say, Erling Haaland was the man of the match and he was exceptional. That's true. But for me, there is a game changer in that team, and that's Doku today. Doku today gave 2 assists, and on the first goal, he took on 2 players, and it was exceptional in the first half, especially where you could feel that every time he got the ball, he was going forward vertically, trying to take on players and trying to make the difference with his pace, with his skills, and it's how he unbalanced Manchester United. Manchester United started well, very well the game. The first 10 minutes, they were better than City, and then entered Doku. And for me, it was a game changer. That's a good game for Manchester City. They had to win that game. It became easier because I think Manchester United, even if they had good times, they made so many mistakes in the third goal. I mean, guys were laughing about it. That's really a joke, but it was good for City to make a statement today, to show that he is still fighting for a better situation, better position in the table.
Yeah, big statement there from Manchester City, doing what they needed to do. And I appreciate Frank trying to make it about Doku, but surely we have to talk about the big man, Erling Haaland. It was interesting, too, because after the game, Pep Guardiola said
So you don't care about what I say?
We care about what you say, but we want to talk about the big man up front.
Kind of.
He just scored an absolute... How many goals did he score on international duty recently for Norway? And now he's back scoring for Manchester City, something that he told me he wanted to do again this season. And Pep Guardiola, interestingly, after the game said, Stevie, that he feels like the way he's going right now, he looks in better form than he was in the season when they won the treble.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Whoa there, Nelly.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Pep Guardiola said it.
As good as he was, I'm not quite sure I'd go that way. He wasn't saying that when he hit the post, when he should have scored. Listen, with Man City having Erling Haaland up top, they're always going to have a chance to win games. Because this guy, when he gets opportunities, 9 times out of 10, the ball's in the back of the net. It's actually when he doesn't score when he's through that you're actually scratching your head thinking, how did he miss? And he's going to be so important because this Man City side, as easy as it was today, weren't particularly great in my opinion. I mean, the middle of the park, other than Foden, I thought Reinders and I thought Rodri, the amount of times, particularly in the first half, they gave the ball away was... I've never seen Rodri giving the ball away so much. And in the second half, it was just too easy. So it's a great win. I mean, you win a derby 3-0, you should be cock-a-hoop. But if you're Pep, you can still see there's a lot of things to do.
You should be what? You should be what, you just said?
Cock-a-hoop.
All right.
Cock-a-hoop?
Cock-a-hoop.
Oh, cock-a-hoop.
Cock-a-hoop.
Right.
Yeah.
I learn something every day.
But if you're Pep, you can still see there's a lot of things you still have to sort out. Now, one of them you've sorted with Donnarumma. He was called upon once and he made a fantastic save. They maybe could have changed the game. Probably not, because it was that easy. But I'm saying that about City, but that just tells you how bad Man United are, by the way. Because the second half, they were just a shambles. I mean, a complete shambles. No shape, no desire, no... I mean, this is the Manchester derby. And there was just a lack of heart, to be quite frank. People were running around, but there was no togetherness. They never got amongst each other and encouraged each other to chase and close people down and win challenges. It was just way too easy for Manchester City. So, listen, City wins pretty comfortably. They got a lot of work to do. Manchester United, on the other hand, I don't know how things change.
I'll get to Manchester United in a second, but let me just go back to Erling Haaland. We were talking about yesterday, previewing this match, which seemingly we have done over the last 5 days.
You said.
And in previewing the match, we talk about the importance of Erling Haaland when he's calling out himself and his teammates and saying, hey, we got to get our backsides going.
Yeah.
And I was saying then, all right, yeah, it's important for the team to do so, but it's important for you to do it as well and carry the momentum from the midweek in scoring the bunch of goals that he did against Moldova. Well, let's go ahead and do that against Manchester United because your team actually needs you to be that productive. And there I say, while I appreciate the goal scored by Erling Haaland, I actually think that his best contribution or most significant contribution was in the beginning of the second half where he made 4 clearances in a row in his own box. Now, you may say, well, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Well, I think it's actually important because it does set a certain bar for everybody else. Hey, listen, I'm supposed to be up there scoring goals, but here I am, and the job requires that I'm going to clear the ball, that I'm going to defend. This is not something I do naturally. This is not something that I like doing, but this is what the game calls for right now. And the game rewarded Erling Haaland because then minutes later, he's scoring a goal himself and then goes on to score a second goal. Erling Haaland today, in the second half in particular, gave Pep Guardiola, or gave Manchester City, more importantly, a clear idea as to what you need to do with him when he plays up top and he is in this sort of mood. Just play the ball in behind. Let him run. You see this guy running with the intent with which he runs and how he's able to manhandle defenders while he's running towards goal and breaking through in a position where he's about to score. And it's beyond me how they don't do this more often. Now, to Stevie's point, it's a whole lot easier to do this against Manchester United.
Yeah.
Just a little.
And it's hard for me to understand how a manager gets to this level. We're talking about Manchester United, the Premier League, and I'm talking specifically about Ruben Amorim. And your game planning for this match, and you think, sitting with your assistant coaches in a room, and you say, you know what I think we're going to do? In an area of the field where Manchester City tried to be dominant, which is the midfield, and I think we all would know that. It's basic knowledge when you're about to play Manchester City. They want to dominate possession in this area, in the middle third. They put numbers around the ball because they want to dominate the possession. Manchester United, in their game plan, by structure, they have Bruno Fernandes, who doesn't defend all that much, and Manuel Ugarte. So just in the structure of the team already, if you're Manchester United, you're already down 2v4, 2v5 in the midfield all the time. Just a built-in mismatch. The other thing that I don't understand from Manchester United's perspective, and Ruben Amorim, again, if you're game planning, this is not even about execution, game plan. You see Kusanov over there on the right-hand side for Manchester City, and you see O'Reilly over there on the left-hand side, and you go, we got to get after these guys. We have got to get after these guys. Offensively, we got to get after these guys because these are mismatches. And defensively, why don't you just let Kusanov have the ball? Why don't you just shift it over and say, that guy cannot beat us. Give him the ball. That guy has issues. He cannot complete a pass even if we leave him by himself. Let him make the game for Manchester City. And that didn't happen. So Ruben Amorim, no idea what you're doing. And I don't think your team does either.
Well, you don't have any idea what Ruben Amorim is doing. Well, let's have a listen, or a look rather, at what he had to say after the match. And in true Ruben Amorim form, he was quite defiant. He said, look, I won't change my philosophy. If they, the United hierarchy, want it changed, you're going to have to change the man. I am not going to change my philosophy. I will play my way until I want to change.
Has he been talking to Espírito Santo?
Well, they both speak the same language.
He's going to need the Espírito Santo.
Yeah. I mean,
but once again, defiant. He says, you're going to have to change me because I'm not changing my philosophy. End of story.
Well, they need to change him then. There's no point in waiting. He's basically saying, the next time we step on the field, this is what we're dishing up again. Because I'm not changing anything. I mean, and there's nobody in the United team that's going to change anything either. All the things that you were talking about, Ali, with Haaland, they don't have candidates like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it looks a little bit like self-preservation, to be honest, because there's certainly no team. They're not running around looking after each other. They're not covering for each other. They're pointing the finger. You got your captain who gave Doku the coldest stare during this game because he gave him a ball that he didn't like. That one situation there tells you exactly what's up in Manchester United.
Frank, what do you make of what Ruben Amorim had to say? Do you feel like he's just digging his way out sooner than we think?
Yes, that must be a Portuguese thing, when to know exactly what to say to make sure that you're going to be kicked out. Somebody did it just before him at Nottingham. That's insane because I don't even know his philosophy. What has been his philosophy since he signed for Manchester United? I mean, the guy did so well in Portugal, and he arrived there, and the first season was, I didn't pick the team, so we're going to wait next season. And we just started the season and say, I'm not going to change anything. So what is your philosophy? Doing nothing? Well, that's not a philosophy. That's being lazy. So you have to try to do something. I mean, today, he put Šeško at front. I didn't see any cross. Yeah, maybe the big guy wasn't at his best, but at least try to use him. Ask Mazraoui and Doku to try to cross the ball, to maybe for the big guy to get the ball with the header. We didn't see one good cross. There was one cross from Leboeuf, and Donnarumma made a great save, but for Šeško, nothing. So I don't know what the philosophy is, because I don't know what the tactic is. And the philosophy is maybe a spirit. We all know that there isn't any spirit. It's individuals plus individual, but not a team spirit. So I don't understand what he meant.
Ale, I did want to go to you on Šeško because, of course, that's your area of the pitch. Or do you kind of take into account what Frank just said? Look, he wasn't even getting any help either.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was on the field, to be honest with you. I mean, he's out there. He kind of running around, but not really having any sort of impact. And while I agree that he did not get service, I would also say that the times in which there was hold-up play required from Šeško, he didn't exactly prove to be the strongest guy. It's almost as if I'm not up for this fight. And Manchester United, in order to get results, they're going to have to win the fight every once in a while because they're not going to outplay teams. They just don't have it in them. And so you're trying to figure out how this team goes about getting results, and they're going to have to win a fight. Do they have fighters on the field? To the point that you just mentioned there, Bruno Fernandes. Look, I have no affiliation with Manchester United, nor do I have an affiliation with Doku, nor do I care whether Doku plays or not. But the moment that he gave that look, I'm watching the game, and as a former professional, I was yelling at Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. Because you know exactly where that's coming from and that he does it to the young guy. But he wouldn't do it to Maguire. Right? So he picks and chooses who is the guy that I'm going to get after. Because you know that there's not going to be a reaction from Doku. That is not the example that you need from a captain. As for the philosophy, this whole idea of managers saying that they have a philosophy, I tell you a philosophy that everybody understands. Winning. Winning. In the end, when it comes down to it, when you get to the nitty-gritty, to the very smallest detail, the thing that keeps the job for managers is winning. And it's your sole responsibility is to win. When you get at the professional level, this is not about teaching the game anymore. This is not about this formation or that formation. No. You're there to put your team in the best position to win. And if that means that you have to adjust, that you have to find flexibility, that you have to be willing to make changes, that you have to be able to process information while the game is going on in front of you and say to your team, give the ball to Kusanov because he cannot play, and you're unable to do that, it tells me that your philosophy, first of all, whatever it is, doesn't work. And second, you do not know how to adjust. And that's a limitation that you should not have from a manager at this level.